Hello! Today I'm going to introduce you to all of my OCs, and I'm going to tier rank each of them. So we've got the tiers, my faves, love, like, I don't think about you, and boo! And let's just jump right into it. The first section of characters is from the universe I call Chosen Ones Academy, which is essentially a school in which Chosen Ones of all these different universes get scouted to attend to learn how to be a Chosen One. So the first character we have here is Emmy. Emmy is the protagonist, and she's not a Chosen One. She lied to attend the school. She's posing as a Chosen One. Personality-wise and design-wise, she's a little bit bland compared to the others, but that's also on purpose because she's not a Chosen One. But because she's a little more bland than the others, I'm just gonna put her in like. Next we have Cleo. Cleo is the Chosen One of a like horror supernatural world. Specifically, when I made her originally, I was really into the back rooms and liminal spaces and those type of games. That's sort of the vibe. She's seen extreme horrors, but she's a chipper gal despite it all, and I love her. I just think she's really fun. Next we have Tal. Tal is the Chosen One of like a space age story, and they live on a spaceship. Tal's very like loves the environment, cares about nature and people and seeing the stars, and I really love them. I think their design is really fun. I know that split hair is maybe a little overdone, but I think it's cool. They're really fun to draw. They were one of my favorites when I first designed all the characters, and they remain to be. Next is Anya. Anya is the Chosen One of a superhero world, a world in which superheroes are less so heroes and more so similar industry to Hollywood acting. And she really wants to be like a real hero, but she has been typecasted at this hero agency to be a magical girl because she's short and cute, which she's not very pleased by, but she really wants to be like a real hero, so she's gonna make that opportunity work for her. And I really love her, but just because her personality is not quite the type of character that I would normally align with if I were an outsider looking in on the series, I'm just gonna put her at love. I do love her, but she's not the type of character I would normally love, you know? Next is Saber. Saber is the Chosen One of an apocalyptic world. Zombie apocalypse happened right as he was about to achieve his dreams of becoming an idol, a pop star, which is such a bummer for him. He's worked very hard towards that, and now he can't because the zombies have taken over, and he's gotta survive. But he's one of the few people in the apocalypse who have not given up on art. And I love him. I think he's sweet. He's a bit like, he's like the dumb, funny comic relief character, but with depth. And I just really like him. He's also purple, so I might be biased. I'm gonna put him in love. Next we have Romeo, who is the final Chosen One, and he's the Chosen One of like a fantasy world. It's very like stereotypical fantasy. He is the prophetic hero, and he's known since birth that he is the Chosen One. And he may have let that get to his head a little bit. He's got a bit of an ego, you know? He's treated like royalty. He lives in the palace. I really like his design. And I've been working a lot on his character more so than most of these other characters in Chosen Ones Academy because I honestly don't know why. I just really tuned in on him. So my fave, you know? Next we have Florian, who isn't a Chosen One, but is from Romeo's original universe. Technically, all these characters would have other characters from their own universes, but those are characters I've not drawn, so they don't get to be in the tier list, but I've drawn Florian. So Florian gets to be here, and he is Romeo's childhood best friend and the prince. This is a picture of him as a kid. I don't have a picture of him as a teen, like he'd be the same age as Romeo, but you know. I honestly don't think about him, actually. I like him, but I don't really think about him. I only think about him in the context to Romeo. I don't really think of him as his own person. Sorry, Florian. That's all the Chosen Ones. So next OC universe I have is the fantasy world. Not the same as Romeo's. It doesn't have a name yet, so I just call it the fantasy world. The fantasy story is very stereotypical fantasy, but the whole idea of it is that from the outside, it feels like you know what role each character plays, but there's a little bit more to them than you might expect, and some subversions of expectations, you know? That's kind of the whole theme of the story. And here we have our protagonist, Kai, my son, my baby boy. He's one of the first OCs I ever made. He's like very introverted and anxious, but also a bit hot-headed, and he wields fire magic but is afraid of fire because his hometown was destroyed by the king, who was in search of his missing staff that Kai's in possession of. But yeah, he's just been in my life for so long, and I've worked on his character a lot, and I feel like he's evolved a lot as I've grown. So I'm very attached to him. He's my son. This is Niall. Niall is a complicated character. In Kai's eyes, Niall is the villain. He's like a demon who became king, and he's a problem. We don't like him as a king. But Niall himself, he doesn't know what he's doing. He loves nature, he loves birds, he loves flowers, he loves pretty things. He's just a softie. Despite looking like this, he's a nice young man with a bit of a temper, but same as Kai, you know? I love him. Next we have Alma. Alma is the general voice of reason character. She trains Kai with his magic, and she is also love interests with Niall. They have a very long history together. And since she's working with Kai, she's very separated from Niall for most of the story. They have this like hinted at history with each other that gets revealed over time. I say that like this is a show you can watch. It's not. It's all in my head, but I love her. She's a really complicated character. Next we have Gavin, who is part of the trio of Kai and Alma. Gavin's more of the strategy guy. He's not good at magic. He actually is quite the opposite, and he's a bit afraid to try and learn. I adore him. Kali, she's more of a villain, but not fully, because she's just a girl, you know? She wants that royal life, okay? She's gunning for that crown. She's kind of unhinged, though, in personality. I like Kali. Next, we have Mila. Mila is Kai's little sister, as you can probably tell by the fact that they look really similar. She's like part of his tragic backstory. She's dead, rest in peace. I don't think about her very much. Next, we have Amber. Amber is Gavin's sister. Amber's the middle child. She's a cartographer. She's an adventurer. She's cheerful. I think she's very cute. I really like Amber. And then we have Raven, who is the oldest sibling of the three. She is like a warrior, great with a sword. She's very like reserved and stern, strong and silent type. And I just honestly I don't like her as much as the other two. I like her, but like not, I don't know if she deserves to be here. I'm gonna put her here. But know that I like these three just a little bit more. This is an unnamed girl. I think I called her Ophelia for now, which that works. She could be Ophelia, I suppose. And she is the fiance to Raven, and she's also a on-field doctor. Basically, there's a war happening in the background of this whole story, and she's a doctor there, and I don't think about her very much. Next, we have Theo. He is Niall's childhood best friend. He, despite this menacing picture, is just a sweetie. He's got probably the most angsty, tragic backstory of any OC I've made. Sorry to him. I am also so proud of his character design. I really didn't like it when I first did it, but now I think it's one of the stronger designs. He's got this sort of like gestury outfit that I think really suits his personality. I love Theo so much. This is Cloud. I don't know if that name's gonna stick. Confession time. Originally, his name was Storm, and then I decided that I wanted that to be my name, so I took it from him. I stole his name like a fairy, but I wanted a sort of sky-themed name. This sort of idea of freedom is core to his character. He's a bit of a mysterious guy. I'm afraid to give out too much. I really like him. Next, we have Axel. This is Axel. He's the advisor, and yeah, he's been whispering bad things into Niall's ear to get Niall to do bad things, to appear to be a bad king. You know, the classic evil advisor vibe, but with a bit of a deeper cut backstory than you may expect that I won't get into. I also really like to make unsuspecting looking villains, so he does just look like a man. Well, what's a bigger threat than just a man? He still sucks, so boo to him. This is the Elder. He's someone I don't think about ever. He's a character, and he is important, but he's more important in the deep lore than in the actual story, if that makes sense. He's a lore character. So that's all of the fantasy characters. Next we have the like modern urban like supernatural type of world. There's like werewolves and ghosts and vampires and mermaids and fairies and folklorian creatures, you know? And we've got our main character, Jo. She's obsessed with all things supernatural, and that's pretty much all she thinks about. And sometimes she does ask inappropriate questions to people to figure out if they are supernatural beings or not. She's not great on the social cues, but she's doing her best out here. She's very like, I'm gonna go look for vampires in the woods while my friends make TikToks. Yeah, that's her vibe. I love her very much. My girl. And then this is Noel. Noel is very anxious. He's got a little bit of a secret, but he's very passionate and cares a lot about things. He loves art and music and learning and school. He's also got a little bit of sass to him and his personality, and I love him. Next, we have Ami, who I don't have as much figured out for. She's very reserved, that kind of character. She plays violin. Yeah, I really don't have a whole lot worked out for her, but I feel like she has a lot of potential. So, this is Genevieve? I forgot what I named her, so that tells you a lot. And she's not the antagonist per se, but she's not a great influence, if that makes sense. But I don't really think about her that much. Sorry to her. And this is her twin. He's a changeling. So like, when he was young, he was kidnapped by fairies and replaced with this. So she's unaware that her brother isn't actually her brother. And she hates all things supernatural. And again, he doesn't even have a name. I don't think of him much. So that's all the supernatural characters that I have drawn, at least. Next we have the time travel story. Basically, it's like the space race, but with time travel. And there's these two rival time travel companies. One uses a method in which people have this innate ability to do things called time slips, but doing that can cause physical harm to their bodies, but they harness that power to time travel. And then the other company uses residual energy from objects to time travel. Obviously none of this is scientific in any way. I made it up. I mean, technically these are concepts that exist, but like, I've decided that therefore they can time travel, you know what I mean? It's magic, who cares? This is Bird. He's the protagonist. He's like a college student who hates his life and joins a time travel agency because he has this rare power called time slip, and he's learning how to harness that. I love him. And then this is his love interest, Martina. She works for like a rival time travel agency. She's like a little fashion girly. She's like, she was sunshine, he was midnight rain. You know what I'm saying? I like her. I think her personality is very cute. Next, we have Jaehyun, who is like Bird's boss, essentially. So he's obviously from the same agency that does the time slip method. And I honestly don't think about him very much. I need to work on him a bit more too. But that's all the time travel characters I've ever drawn. There's definitely more people in this agency and in hers, but I've just not really thought about them. Next, we have the first ever OC universe I ever made, which is this like witch story. I don't even know, but this is June and she's a witch, and that's really all you need to know. She's very anime in terms of personality, like the type of girl that's like a bit snappy and sassy and out there, like Haruhi Suzumiya vibes, or like Holo. Yeah, I don't think about her ever anymore. I don't dislike her, but I don't think about her. And this is Eric, who was her love interest. He's a baker, and that's pretty much it. He's so boring. I don't think about him. And I don't think about that story ever, and I'm not gonna work on it ever. And then lastly, we have my D&D character, Comet, and I've done so many videos on Comet, so if you don't know Comet, there's an array of content about him. He's a bard, he is a pirate, and he's just a little guy. Fave. And that's the tier list. Those are all my OCs. Very, very brief introductions to each of them. I would like to do solo videos on each universe and get into more depth of the characters and the storylines and such. So if that's something you'd be interested in, please let me know. I'm currently working on one for Chosen Ones Academy. I really hope you enjoyed this silly video. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.